Welcome back to Dad's Little Warriors Dad Talk, man. It's been a little bit of a break, but we're ready. This is going to be season 3. So, season 3, new dads, new stories. So, it's going to be a good one. I like to say it's better than the last, but the last was really good too. So, if you haven't watched that, go back and check it out. And also check out dadslittlewarriors.com. We got all different apparel, a little bit of something for everybody. It doesn't get any realer than this. So, no script, no bullshit, no nothing. Just real dads talking real stuff. So check us out. Make sure you like, subscribe. If you know of any dads that want to try to get on the podcast, go ahead and comment below. Message us. You can get to us on Facebook, TikTok, wherever. We try to throw a little bit of something everywhere. So tune in, guys. We're coming back strong, and we can't wait for you to watch. We'll see you there. All right, guys. Well, welcome back to Dad's Little Warriors Dad Talk. This is season 3, man, and we got a new guy on here today. So this is Beau. I met Beau. His wife actually recommended that he come on the podcast. So I guess he's got some good stuff to talk about. I've been following their journey for a little while. His wife's pretty up on putting everything up on TikTok, and I love seeing it. So, what's up, man? How's everything going?
It's going good, man. Just living lots of like day-to-day life, you know what I mean?
That's it. Well,
So,
like
yeah,
we were talking about before we got on the podcast. You're in the military, and first off, thanks for your service, man.
absolutely.
I truly appreciate it. Trying to take care of this country and everything. But that's a struggle in itself. Let alone
Mm.
adding a dad on top of that, plus a medical complex kid. So this one's pretty cool.
It the military definitely added a twist in it. I'll definitely say that. Like
Big
when I
time.
got to Campbell, it was a 9-day difference in the command group at Bliss. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because I was stationed in Fort Bliss, Texas beforehand, and during the process after we first found out about my daughter, it was a shock for us, and they gave me like a week to figure things out, and then my platoon sergeant called me and was like, "Hey man, you're still a freaking soldier, you know that, right? You still got to come to work." I was like,
This
"I'm just trying to
shit.
piece together my life right now at this point, man." But all right,
So when did you guys find out about your daughter? Like, was it like during pregnant? I'm sure it was during
yeah,
pregnancy.
it was the 20-week. I want to say it was the anatomy scan.
Yeah.
And we were at the OBGYN. Um, and then they were doing the scan, and at first they thought that her heart was on the wrong side,
Okay.
so that the ultrasound techs was kind of scratching her head and stuff, and we're just kind of like peering at the screen trying to figure out, what are you seeing?
Yeah.
And she runs out of the room, goes and gets the doctor, and he comes back in, and that's when he's like, "All right, well, we're gonna send you to a high risk doctor.
Sure.
It looks like your daughter's heart might be on the wrong side."
No shit.
And we're like, "Okay." So we go get that checked out, and that's when they tell us that what threw them off was it was my daughter's stomach was on the wrong side.
Okay.
So after that, that's when they broke the news to us, um, that we have she's got a bunch of things wrong with her, and
Sure.
um congenital heart disease and all this and that. And then I popped the question, and like I'm sure my wife has a different point in which it hit her,
And that's yeah.
but
Yeah, I
um
mean, dude, I couldn't imagine like, that time, that moment of
no.
like, getting that news and like just
Mhm.
like gut wrenching. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
our ours was in the moment, like there was
Mhm.
no way to prepare or even like
Yeah.
I mean, your guys was early. You know what I mean? At like, 22 weeks or
Mhm.
whatever. Where ours we kind of just got thrown to the wolves and it was like it is what it is. Now you have to think about all that stuff throughout the rest of the pregnancy and everything.
I can't imagine not being able, like, if we hadn't had a chance to prepare for it, like I can't imagine for, because
It's crazy because I can't see
yeah.
the other side of it. Like I'm a worrywart,
It's
dude. Like
yeah,
that shit eats me up.
dude, it was nuts because like that day, the part that crushed me was I asked the question. I was like, because I don't even know how long we were there for. I'd be lying if I told you. Um, but I had to go to work that day.
Yeah.
Um, so I popped the question. I was like, "What's the what are the chances of her making
Sure.
it?
Yeah, yeah.
And the high risk doctor, his name was Dr. Poole, and he's like, she's got about a 50% chance of making it through the
No
first year.
shit, man. God
And
damn.
that's what got me.
Yeah.
But
I just got fucking
so
chills, dude. Because
it
I
was
feel
bad,
it, man.
man. I remember like on the way back, like we're I can't really remember too much from that day because it was
Sure,
like kind
no
of like a
doubt.
fog. I
Yeah, man.
remember like make sure my wife's good
Yep.
and kind of like we'll figure this out, this that, and the other. We're kind of having our moments, and I remember going to base, and I was just not having it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm sitting there like trying to hold it back because I'm about to go tell my job like I need a moment for this, right? So I'm
Yeah.
heading to base, and the I get stopped at the gate for a random inspection.
Of course.
Um, yeah, and this wasn't a typically they have you get out, open up your trunk, or they'll look in the bed. This was a pop your glove box,
No shit. The whole
pop your
deal.
mat, everything, pop your
Yeah.
seats up. And the guy came over and he's like, "All right, get out the truck, do this, that, and the other." I remember looking at him, and that's when like the tears started flowing. And he's
Yeah.
like,
He's probably like, what the
"What's?"
fuck?
He's like, "What's going on with you, dude?" And I remember he looked at me, I was like, "I'm sorry, what?" And he goes,
Yeah.
"Hey, out of the truck, please." I was like, "Okay." So I get out
Yeah.
the truck, and he kind of checks. He's like, "You're good, dude." And he hands me back my card out, and I was like, "Thanks, asshole." And I got back in the truck, but um, yeah, the so like I know you said you guys got no warning. That I can't imagine with that because like we had between 20 weeks and
But like, how do you even try to prepare? You know what I mean? Like that's the
yeah.
thing. Like I think on the other side, to where like I said, I'm a worry wart. I'd be like freaking going
Hmm.
crazy the whole rest of the time trying to figure out what I
Yeah.
was gonna do to make this shit happen. And yeah, man, I definitely I see both sides, and I feel like yours
Yeah.
might be worse, and you might feel like mine's
No.
worse, but like it all
Yeah. Well,
is
like
what it
so like
is.
I know my wife, she's the she the only reason we really found the hospital is just because of her, right? And
Yeah,
so like um and that's just I mean I'm just gonna face it, my wife's the planner.
sure.
She preps, she's the one that did all the research, she's the one that did
Yep.
all this, and I'm just thinking like, I might lose my kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's
man,
the only thing
for
in my
sure.
head.
Yeah,
But and the reason I can't imagine not being prepared for this is because in El Paso there was no people to perform heart surgeries.
no shit. Yeah.
They had a cardiologist that almost misdiagnosed us and told us not to worry about it.
Oh my
um,
gosh, man.
so and then so like Dr. Poole, I believe I want to say he was the one that was like recommending to get out of like go to other hospitals out of town because kids
Sure.
that are born with this and they have to do the life flight, they don't usually make it on that flight.
Okay. Wow. Yeah.
So, um, long story short, with the cardiologist, the pediatric cardiologist he referred us to, um, I won't name drop this one, but
Yeah.
we go over there and he's like, "Oh, I see what's wrong. These things usually work themselves out." And they're like, "Are
Mm,
you sure?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's like you'll be fine. It'll work itself out. You don't
okay.
got to go anywhere." And so we had to kind of like pull teeth from him to go get these referrals because the way TRICARE works is we got to go through. We got to get the referral from the
Sure.
OB to the high
Yep.
risk, and this that, and the other. But he didn't really want to pull the referrals, and so we kind of had to like get on him about it.
Yeah.
We go to Houston, check out Houston, and that was another rough day. That was like a 8-hour day of just
Mm,
like, hey, the first trip was you got your, you know, possible life mix up going on at the high risk doctor. We go to the
sure.
cardiologist. He tells us, he's like, it's all right. We go to Houston. That's when they drop the bomb on us of just absolutely everything
Yeah.
from, um, you know, like how this can turn into a learning disability to what life might look like,
Yeah. Yep.
um, she might not be able to walk upstairs, her heart might give out type of deal,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So
Yep.
we take that back to Dr. Poole, or we take that back to the other cardiologist,
Yeah.
and he kind of scratches his head. He's like, "All right, well, listen to what they say, don't pay attention to what I say because, I just lost a patient because of this."
No
And we're like,
shit, man.
"All
Okay.
right." So
10-4.
yeah, I was like, I remember I was upset. My wife was like, "What are you like? Did he really just say this to us right now?" And next thing you know,
Yeah.
he was like apparently on vacation in his home country for 4 or 5 months.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
but
Nice.
yeah, so that was the not being able to prepare for that's one reason I don't think we would be able to comprehend that and can't
Right.
even imagine that because the flight from El Paso to anywhere would have just been a disaster. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, no doubt. Yeah, luckily where we were at, they were kind of suitable for like unfortunately what happened with our
Mm,
daughter and everything like that. So we were able to get kind of right in like,
yeah.
with her condition she has called HIE. It's pretty much it's lack of oxygen and blood flow to the brain during birth,
Okay.
which causes brain damage. Then
Mm,
she had cerebral palsy with, pretty much as your brain can't connect with your body properly the
mm-hmm.
way it's just not wired right. Um, but yeah, man, they did this process on her. It was a cooling process where she pretty much went into hypothermia for like 3 days, 72 hours.
Damn.
And it like preserved the brain, but she's out for that time, and they're
Yeah.
telling us like, she probably won't make it the day four, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And this is just like, bam. So, I mean, I get now that I've been through it and I lived through it,
Mm,
I like wouldn't want to be prepared for it, but I've used this quote a pretty good bit of times on my podcast, being thrown to the wolves. Like that's
yeah.
kind of like how we felt, and it's like, buck up or shut up. Like we
Yeah.
just gotta deal with it and go. But how old is she now?
She just turned 3 in December.
No shit,
So
man. Our other daughter
yeah.
just turned 3 in January.
Oh,
Yep.
nice,
Is she
nice.
your only kid?
No, we have our we have we had a boy last year.
No shit,
Uh
man.
yeah.
Good.
That
Congratulations to you guys for
appreciate that.
going through that shit
Yeah.
again, man. Like,
It was
hats off to you.
scary, dude, because I know
Yeah.
like so we just had her last it was either we found out before her last surgery. We found out before her last surgery that she was pregnant, and it wasn't a jump up and down happy moment because one of the meetings that we had with it's like the gene doctor. They do they
Yeah.
check your
Genetic
genes and
testing.
stuff,
Yep.
genetic testing, right? And we had a doctor explain to us that there's a 25% chance of this happening because of I have the
Dude.
gene for CHD or heterotaxy, CHD, heterotaxy. I had the gene for that, which can cause CHD, and then my wife has a mutated gene, and because of that, every child we have, there's a 25% chance of it happening. So,
No shit. Did you
yeah.
guys get genetic tested after she was born, or was it?
Uh, After Mila was born,
Yeah.
uh,
Was that how you knew that you had like the gene, or is
oh,
that
we did this all while my wife was still pregnant. Yeah,
okay? Yep. Yeah. Because we did IVF and they do
yeah.
genetic testing and all that shit, for our first one.
Mhm. Okay,
Yep.
but that was like I remember my wife came in and she told me because like we were kind of between houses. And I think I told you like I had the house up here and
Yeah.
I was going down here. We had come up here to visit, or so I can we can spend some time, kind of like a little mini vacation up here. But
Hmm.
I also had to get some stuff done with the house and everything.
Yeah.
And she told me, and I remember saying the first things out of my mouth, like in my head, was like shit. You know what I mean? It was just kind of panic mode. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but so that was a while, right? But he just turned 1.
No
Uh,
shit.
yeah,
Cool.
we're all December babies. So
Yeah.
my
Damn.
daughter's the 27th, my wife's the 23rd, I'm the 28th, and my little boy Jackson, he's the 12th. So
Damn, man. You guys get
yeah,
hit all around Christmas.
yeah, it's that's a rough part of the year, dude. It
No
really
doubt,
is.
man.
But
I get it because our one daughter, she's January, and then
hmm
Lucy, the one with HIE, she's June. My wife's June. I'm October, so we're kind of
hmm
split. Lulu's the only
yeah,
one, and like, bro, we're in Maryland, and this winter has sucked. It's been fucking terrible.
if it's been bad in Tennessee, I can't imagine how it is over there.
Yeah, dude, it's been brutal, and I'm like, I told my wife, we did a trip down to South Carolina a couple weeks
Hmm
ago to visit friends. We actually surprised them. Somebody we
hmm
kind of met through all this stuff. Their son, he
Yeah.
passed, that has the
Oh
same
man.
condition that my daughter has, about a year ago, and we finally made it down there to go surprise him and see him down there, and I'm like, I don't want to come back.
Yeah. I've been meaning to ask, is there like with your daughter, um, what's like what does life look like typically for someone with that, like when they get older? Is it
Yeah,
like a
so
condition that progressively gets worse, or is there a plan to stop it, or how does
dude,
that
it's
work?
it's all wait and see. I mean,
Yeah.
there are going to be, from day one we knew there'd be issues just with like the brain. There's no way to heal the brain. But like
Yeah.
what me and my wife did, and like, we stopped our lives completely. Fortunately,
Hmm.
we're kind of it's a struggle, but
Hmm.
we're able to kind of push through. We said these first 3 years, man, because like
Hmm.
I'm not a doctor, but like
No.
my thinking is like a baby, they're learning all this shit from the gate anyway. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So like if we take her and we sit her over in the corner and let her deal with her brain damage her way, then yeah, she's not going to do anything. She's just going to sit in the corner.
Yeah.
So we made the call that the first 3 years, man, we're going to give it everything, risk losing everything
Hmm.
to like let her teach her and let her learn and do the hardcore therapies, intensive therapies, regular therapies. So since the day she was born, like, they told us that like it's a wait and see thing. So she'll be 2 in June. And like she's doing a lot of stuff that they said she wouldn't do, already. But and it sucks, dude, because she just looks she's so beautiful. You know what I mean? Like she is a
Yeah.
beautiful little girl. And it's not on the inside, it's not on the outside, it's all on the inside.
Yeah.
And everything that she should be doing is like a fucking struggle for her to do, but she's doing it where it should
Yeah.
be more, just kind of common things that
Hmm.
normal kids do, which you kind of get. Um, but yeah, man, I mean, it's one of those things that we don't know
Yeah.
exactly what's going to be affected. We see what milestone she's not hitting that she should be at this
Hmm.
age, but like we're fucking pushing, dude. You know what I mean? We just like
Yeah.
we're fighters, she's a fighter, and we just, we push through and try to,
Hmm.
get her up and moving. So yeah, man, it's that's probably the worst thing about it is that it's an unknown. We really don't
Yeah.
know where it's gonna go. Yeah.
How was I think you said, thinking in the text message, you were saying that you guys were doing intensive therapy like a week or two ago. How did that
Dude,
go?
yeah, it's fucking awesome, man. Like,
Yeah.
if anybody has a chance to do it, it sucks because insurance doesn't cover it. You got to
Hmm.
pay for that shit out of pocket. We found a place about an hour and a half away from us up into Pennsylvania. And
Hmm.
they really took to us. Like, we bring our other daughter up there. They welcome her. They welcome our
Right.
family. They let us be hands-on with them. And it's like 2 hours a day for 5 days a week. And this round was 2 weeks long.
Hmm.
Monday through Friday. And dude, she just kills it. Like it's like she struggles, and like
Hmm.
she doesn't like it, but we push her to do it and she brings that shit home and like every time we go and come back, she does something new. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
Um
What
so
kind of stuff
like
did they have her doing?
all mainly PT stuff. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's
Hmm.
mainly physical therapy stuff. They do some OT shit, but like she doesn't like stand unassisted or anything like that. So a lot of like standing and up and down to build
Yeah.
that trunk support and everything. They got like a spider cage in there. I don't know if you've ever
Hmm.
seen one of them. It's like it's a like a welded metal box with like chicken like heavy duty chicken wire fencing,
Hmm. Yeah.
panels type deal, and they use a belt on her and they attach her with bungee cords and it's
Mm.
so she can kind of try to stand there by herself
Oh,
with light
okay.
support and stuff and do
Yeah.
movements up and downs and shit. She loves that. She'll get in there trying to jump and stuff. um Her main thing is, that she can't really stand up. She just started kind of sitting up unassisted and kind of butt scooting a little
Yeah.
bit and everything. But dude, we're gonna keep pushing her, and that
Yeah.
intensive therapy, it does wonders. I mean, it's expensive, but like I said, the first 3 years, man, we're risking it
Yeah.
all just to give it to her and,
Yeah.
see what happens and kind of reassess everything after that.
Is she like on her own schedule too of how she wants to do things, like with
Oh,
crawling?
fucking A, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to do it whenever you're trying to teach her, but she'll chase the vacuum or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yep, yep, for sure. It's crazy, man. They're definitely on their own time.
Yeah.
It's you try to push them. We know our limits. When
Yeah.
we know like
Mhm.
we push her hard enough to break her a little bit, but then if you break her too much, then she's just done.
Yeah. I understand that. I was in Germany for like the first month I was in Germany on our Europe rotation 2 years ago. And my wife had been working all year trying to get her to kind of start crawling and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And she hadn't hit one yet. And I got a call from my wife in Germany. She's like, Mila's crawling. I was like, what? She's like, yeah, I just started vacuuming. She started chasing it, and that was a wrap. I was like,
No
oh,
shit.
okay. So
Do you
definitely
get to
understand
face
that.
like when you're away and stuff like that? Do you get to FaceTime them a pretty good bit and talk to
Oh
them,
yeah,
or
like
good?
none of these are like serious combat deployments. They're not really considered deployments at all. They're just
Okay.
training rotations. So like
Yep.
in Germany, it was our main job there was to train Ukrainians, and we stayed in a barracks. Like kind of, it wasn't a barracks, it was like a squabby. There's 40 other guys there,
Yeah.
but it was nothing big. It was just a rotation to you know Camp Aachen in
Sure.
Germany, and
Cool.
and then the Ukrainians would come in off the front lines. They'd reset wherever they reset in the Ukraine, and then they'd come to us with fresh bodies, and then we trained them, and then we sent them back out.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a it was we had a lot of downtime. The training didn't really kick off until probably about February, and
Okay.
like me and my wife, this is like our that was like our second stint doing any kind of rotation.
Yeah.
Um, so like I get off work, I go work out, I do my thing, and probably around like 7 or 8 o'clock, we pop on a movie together. We kind of time it and everything, and
Nice. Yeah, man.
but
Were you
it's a
around for both kids being able to be born? Were you able to be
I
around or
was.
good?
I was very lucky for that to happen. When Mila was born, I was in my dwell time. So like we couldn't really leave the like wasn't really allowed to leave the country in
Yeah.
terms of like they weren't allowed to send me anywhere because I had
Nice.
just gone back from Korea like 7 months prior.
Yeah.
Um, 8 months, 9 months, 9 months prior.
Mm.
I was around for that, and then for Jackson, um, it was yeah, it was just another time between stuff and everything. Nothing really big going on,
Yep.
but I was definitely glad for that. Um, but yeah, it was it was a trip, but
What's
like
it like, man, having two young kids, one boy, one girl, you know?
um, it's a it's definitely not something I ever picture myself having. You know what I mean? I know I told myself, and this is kind of getting into the sappy side of things. I told myself that because of how my mom, my dad worked out and everything. Like
Yeah.
I didn't meet my dad till I was until the day 4 days after I turned 19.
No shit.
Yeah, and then so I always told myself like no matter what, what I mean,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be there.
Yep. Yep.
Um, I remember like I was growing up and be like I got to mow the lawn because this is what a good dad does. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
man.
But
Yeah.
and now I'm building 15-foot entertainment centers because I want to. So it's kind
That's
of weird.
right.
It's a trip,
Yeah, that's
but
cool, man.
kind of waiting for that time where you know my daughter or my son come up and they're trying to like hand me tools and it's the wrong one. I'm waiting for that. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
man. The flashlight. You
Yeah.
know. Hold that bitch
I'm
where I said.
right now. Mila's in this whacking phase. She'll take her hockey stick, run her over to Jackson, just pop him. I'm
Oh
like,
shit.
yeah. So like I can't really give her a hammer right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know, right?
But
That's
yeah.
awesome, man. So what do you do, man? Let's get into you a little bit. We heard about the family. Like what's your
Mm,
thing, man? What kind of keeps you grounded? That's it's a controlled chaos. Sometimes not even controlled. I know my
yeah.
house is just straight fucking chaos with,
Oh
two
yeah.
young kids, but like
Mm.
what do you do, man?
Well,
What are
I
you
mean,
into?
uh, I my two big hobbies that I started just for some reason started them last year at the same time.
Hmm.
Don't really know why. Um, started woodworking, or at least teach myself woodworking, and some like DIY stuff last
Nice.
year. And around the same time, I started teaching myself to play hockey. So
That's
that's
cool.
it's like my thing now. And
Yeah, man.
uh, my daughter's cardiologist just cleared Mila to play hockey if I wanted to get her into
Uh
it. So like
that's
that
cool.
was a trip. Yeah.
Yeah. Is she you been messing with her at all with it, or
Oh,
she kind of
she
seem
is.
interested? Yeah.
Everyone I've talked to says that she's still way too young.
Okay.
Like I've been telling like, hey, I'm trying to get my daughter into hockey. Like, well, how old is she? She's like 3. Like, damn, you're starting her early. And I was like, that would probably explain why she's trying to hit a basketball with a hockey stick at this point. You know what
Yeah, right.
I mean? But I got her little helmet. I got her little skates. I got her own stick for Christmas, and
Nice.
we just used her hockey helmet to for her to wear while I towed
Yeah.
her around in the snow on a lawnmower. So
There you go. Got to test it
that's
out.
it's working right now. You know what I mean?
That's
But
awesome, man. I'm a big believer in that. You got to get them
yeah,
into something. You know what I mean?
hmm
Like, yeah, our older daughter, yeah, just turned 3 and everything. She's into like tumbling, but it's like, it's like a through a cheer place or whatever.
okay,
It's kids are just fucking off.
yeah,
Like it's
yeah,
literally just, 3-year-old kids just running around being crazy and shit. But you definitely, I mean, I look forward to that too, kind of when they
yeah,
can understand a little bit about what they're
hmm
trying to do and try to just whatever
yeah,
sticks, man. I'm not going to push them to do anything they don't want to do, but give them a shot at a couple different things and see what
yeah.
sticks.
We're me and my wife are definitely like we're kind of in this like back and forth of should she do jujitsu or should she do judo? And I was like, well, judo sounds kind of more badass. You could throw people all over the place.
That's right.
But
Yeah. Well, at least you're both on the same page for that. Like I actually
yeah,
I used to train MMA and stuff, not
hmm
like professional or nothing like that, but just,
yeah,
for fun and did it for a couple of years growing up doing
hmm
karate and then jumped into that. And that's something I told my wife. I'm like, when the time comes, I'm like, we're definitely getting, Lulu
yeah,
is my almost 3-year old. I'm like, we're getting her into the youngest kids karate she can get
hmm
into, see if she likes it. Of course, me and her are already
yeah,
throwing hands because that's what we do, you know.
yeah, yeah.
You wouldn't be a dad if you weren't into throwing hands with your kid. It just kind of is
Yeah.
what it is.
I'm waiting for that too. Like right now, Mila's just kind of jumping on my back, and then she'll jump off. But I'm waiting. Like I already, we kind of already decided like the fight rules in the house right now.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, like
There's
I
a
brought it
fine line.
to I brought it up to my wife about I don't know, probably about a year ago. I was like, hey, fight rules should be hockey rules. She's like, what do you mean? I was like, fight like no weapons. You fight till it goes to the ground, then it breaks. She's like, okay, I'm okay with it. I was like, yes. So
That's awesome, man.
yeah.
That's so cool.
And
Uh,
Mila's already picking on Jackson right now. I was like, that boy weighs as much as you right now. Just wait till he gets bigger. You ain't gonna like it, but all right.
yeah. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, it's funny, man, how that stuff
Mm,
works out. It's cool. I mean, I got an older brother and stuff, and we weren't really close, never really been or anything like that. But it's interesting to see, once
yeah.
the kids get a little older on, how they cope with each other and fight
Mm,
and, or if they're gonna be best friends, you just never know.
that works. I hope they fight a little bit, just a little
I know,
bit.
right? You got
But
to. Kind of wanted to jump into something, and this is kind of what started Dad's Little Warriors, man. And I didn't want to forget to ask you is like when you were going through this shit, like you first got her diagnosis, or even like when she was born. Like I know I felt alone. You know what I mean?
hmm
Like, and that's what started this. That's why I started this was because
yeah.
like therapy and shit like they talked about having outside I could go outsource therapy and all that stuff because like when all this shit happened it was like bam, like we were
Yeah.
talking about, there was no anticipation, there was no research, there was no nothing, it just kind of just happened. For me, like for you, did you have a lot of support and stuff like that, or
Um we had support in the terms of um I didn't really haven't even thought about this. We had support in terms of like, your typical, which is not which is fine by every means, but it was like you know, I would say the biggest support we had was we had a place to stay in Dallas
yeah,
when we chose that hospital. And that was my sister-in-law offering,
nice,
to give us, to let us stay there. Um, but I'll be honest with you, my mind was definitely occupied, so I
yeah,
didn't really have a lot of time to think about a lot of that stuff.
good,
And I think that made it easier for me
for sure,
because we had gotten orders to go to Clarksville or to go to Fort Campbell, Kentucky,
hmm,
um, shortly before finding out.
yeah, yeah,
So um, between like once we got I think we got the hospitals figured out in terms of what hospital we wanted to go to. Probably I want to say maybe August
yeah.
time frame.
Mhm.
Um, so from there, it had to switch gears from I'm supposed to, I'm supposed to go on PCS leave. Uh, before, for 3 or 4 weeks before showing up to my new unit,
Right.
and kind of backwards planning from there. If I'm supposed to check in April, you know, I got to be back at Bliss for 2 weeks prior, 3 weeks of PCS leave. Um, Between packing up the house, we had to search for another house, but we had to sell this one.
You're fucking busy,
So
man.
it
That's
it,
that's
it
that's
was,
good.
man.
Yeah.
It was because we essentially what we had to do was we had to pack up the house in El Paso. I had to put it in a storage unit in El Paso,
Hmm.
and then um move my wife and whatever she needed to Dallas,
Hmm.
and then come back to El Paso, finish packing up the house. Um, the house sold sometime between mid-December and you know mid-January,
Yeah.
and then I had to go. I was there for the first surgery, and my daughter wasn't out of the. She was in the hospital for 6 to 8 weeks. I can't really remember
No
which.
shit. Yeah.
So I had to leave about halfway through that, come back to El Paso, out process, um, stay at a friend's house, and then when it came time for me to PCS, um, all right, and sometime between her surgery and um coming back to El Paso, I it might have been before or after. I had to go up to Clarksville to look for houses, and so now I'm back in El Paso, wrapping up stuff to PCS, officially get everything, like
Yeah.
living at a friend's house. And then my last day in El Paso was spent unpacking the storage unit into a 25-foot truck,
Dude,
towing my
sometimes,
truck.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's that, you keep your mind off of shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it was pretty tough when we were going through because my wife and I were both business owners. She's a photographer, and I had
Yeah.
my diesel performance shop, for 9 years or whatever. And like we were it, you know what I mean? Like if
Hmm.
we weren't there, stuff didn't work, it didn't function, we didn't make money, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like I always thought that if I had something maybe to take my mind a little bit off of that, but like,
Yeah.
dude, me running my business after that news and,
No,
her
that'd
supposed to
be
not making
tough.
it, dude, I had to shut it down, like I had to
Yeah.
take time because I couldn't leave my wife there. She was recovering, from the
Yeah.
emergency section and stuff. And then, watching over our daughter that wasn't supposed to make it after day 4. I really, I had no choice, and dude, I was stuck in those hospital walls and I was going fucking crazy.
Yeah. That's I remember, so me and my wife, we would get into some arguments about
Hmm.
that because, like, I'm not saying the way I deal with things is, kind of
We're different, man.
put
Yeah.
something else in front of it,
Yep.
But I remember, like, at the hospital, we I tried my best to get her, and this is probably not the right thing to do. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Hmm.
sometimes I feel like a bad dad for it, but I didn't think that being at the hospital 24/7 was good for either of us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yep.
So I was always pushing, like, hey, we'll show up early, we'll get back really late.
Yeah.
Um, and that stopped after I left. And I remember, like, and my daughter came home. No, I got this backwards a little bit. She came home right before I left back to El Paso.
Hmm.
Um, but it was one of those things where, like, with her other surgeries, I was only able to be there for the surgery portion, and she was
Sure.
had to be there for all the other portions. You know what I mean? And we
Yeah.
sometimes get into arguments about, from her side of things, like, I can't leave her there, and from my side of things was, I can't be there the entire time. Like, I'll go crazy.
Yeah. We're
Um,
different, dude.
yeah,
I totally get it. I mean, those walls in that freaking hospital, that's part of
yeah,
the problem that I had, but like we were not okay.
yeah.
Like
I feel that, dude.
we were not good. It was not good, and like it was just, we say now we're still in survival mode, but we were really in the fucking trenches of survival mode,
Hmm.
back then. It
Yeah,
was it was crazy.
yeah. It was.
I don't think there's no right or wrong, honestly, man. Yeah, I
Yeah,
definitely wouldn't say it was a bad move or, it's just like you said, different people, and especially husband and wives usually process things different. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
don't think there's really a right and a wrong. It's just, you know, obviously there's a piece of your heart that wants to be there. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
If it, I don't know if I would have probably done things a little bit different if my wife wasn't recovering as much as she was because
Hmm.
she flatlined also, on
Oh
the
man.
operating table of, getting her out, getting Lucy out. So it was a clusterfuck, man.
Yeah, I can't imagine. We had a C-section too, and like they hit us out of nowhere with that, but it was nothing like that.
Yeah.
And this might seem jacked up to say, but it was like one of those things where so we were in the hospital and everything like we were there for I don't know 15, 16 hours and nobody had
Hmm.
mentioned a C-section whatsoever.
Same. Yeah.
And then they started rushing in, like, we got to get her out, we got to do this, we got to do that. I remember like freaking out in the corner,
Yeah, dude.
and it might be jacked up for me to say, but like I started running through scenarios, you know what I mean? Like,
Oh
if
yeah,
is it
dude.
gonna be her or my daughter? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I did make a choice at one
Me
point, you
too.
know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I've been there. Yep.
Um, but she came out fine with that. But I don't know, like, because I was kind of already a mess.
Hmm.
Um, when they took her away,
Sure.
because it was like within I don't know an hour of us being told they had her wheeled away, and I was just sitting there freaking out.
Yeah, man.
But I
Well,
don't know
you're
if
already, on edge because you already know, the possibilities with your daughter, and then now they're
mhm,
rolling away with your wife and shit too, dude. I get
yeah.
it.
I
I
don't
do.
if they had told me like you said your wife flatlined, I don't know what I would have done, man. That's
Yeah, man.
like I can't comprehend that.
Yeah,
But
it was pretty wild, man. There's a lot of things and a lot of shit, I know in life that you can't really unsee and you can't really unhear, and
mhm,
but that's why, I do this. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
this helps me talking about it and shit. You know what I mean? It helps me like talking to different dads and getting their scenarios and bouncing shit on and off their head, of
mhm,
their take on things,
yeah,
no, it's just cool. This is my therapy. Regular doctor therapy don't work for me. This shit
yeah,
works.
yeah. I've never really talked about it with anybody. You know, what I
Yeah.
mean, I got a friend um who's here at Campbell, or he left, but his daughter has CHD.
Mhm.
But we never really talked about it. You know what I mean? It's just like, hey, what did your daughter get done? Well, she had
Yeah.
this done. Okay, well, what hospital did you go to? Oh, we went here. He's like, oh, okay. And I was kind of left at that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but
Well, that's my
yes,
thing. And dude, I'm not a fucking preacher. You know what I
yeah,
mean? And I'm not out here trying to change the
no,
world and all that shit and everything like that. But, I'd be lying if I didn't say that I'm trying to break the stigma, dads can't talk about shit. You know
yeah,
what I mean? Like it's not
mm,
usually our first thing, but a lot of shit's changed in my life. I'm stuck
mm,
here caretaking for our daughter and, trying to raise two girls and help my wife with her photography business and shit. Like, that's why I picked up bull riding.
yeah,
I just I need that. I'm an adrenaline guy. This was not my future that I see
yeah,
for myself after owning
mm,
my diesel shop for 9 years full time.
yeah,
But it's just cool to fucking shoot the shit with some dudes and, hear their story and get to know them. Like, I actually find interest in this shit. It's not
yeah.
just out here trying to be like, shoot the shit. All right, man. Like, it's cool, when we text and talk and, stuff like that.
Hmm. Were you angry at first?
Dude, I was fucking pissed.
Yeah. Okay.
Angry,
So
angry isn't even the word for it,
yeah,
bro.
that's like, how was your like, what was your like angry reaction? Because I know for me, it was like one of the worst things anybody could have said it to me at that point was, just pray. You know what I mean? Or
Yeah,
the man upstairs got a reason for it, and that would piss me off so much. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And I was already having a problem with like whatever was going on upstairs, but
yep,
like
yep.
it was just angry. You know what I
Dude,
mean? Like what?
nobody could have said anything to make
Hmm.
anything better at that point. It didn't matter. I'm not a religious
Yeah.
person. I mean,
Hmm.
I don't knock it, but like that's not really my thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I didn't fucking get it, and I
Yeah.
was mad at the world. I mean, everybody and anybody. The only thing
Mm,
that could have saved me was just people being like, "Hey, man, I'm sorry. Like, if there's anything I can do, like, just those words, like, were cool."
yeah,
But I didn't know what I fucking needed. I didn't know, what would
yeah,
nothing would make it better. Nothing still really will. But I've just time. I guess.
yeah. The only thing that the only because like that was like that's why I was kind of like iffy about the support question because like my wife's family, she's religious as and she's not, but I mean she's religious to some extent, but like
Yeah,
her side of the family is just
yeah, I
like
get it.
they're whenever she get on the phone with them, it was always the manager's got a plan, he's got
Mm-hmm.
this, like you just got to pray. And I remember
Yep.
like being fucking pissed when they get off
Yeah,
the
dude.
phone and be like, and then someone
He ain't
at
gonna
one
he
point,
ain't, he ain't gonna
yeah,
fix her. He ain't gonna pay my
yeah,
bills. He ain't gonna
exactly, and
clear my head.
that's
Like I
exactly
get
what
it.
it was.
Yeah.
And like I remember being like pissed. And I think the best thing anybody ever told us was I called one of my longtime buddies in South Carolina, and because he's known me for the past 12 years, and there's been some other shit that I rolled down the hill
Mm-hmm.
a few years ago that he was there for, and I called him because he was happy for when he found out me and my wife were having a kid and everything.
Yeah,
And I think the best news, the best thing we got was from him when he's like, I don't know what to say, but I'm a phone call away if you need me. And,
dude.
and he's
That's
like,
it, man.
and that was the wrap, you know what I mean? I was like,
Yep.
thanks, man.
Yeah.
But anything else was, I don't know about you, but it was like other comments that made me angry was like kind of like comparisons.
Yeah,
I
dude.
don't, I don't know if you ever got those.
Oh yeah.
You know what I
Yep.
mean? Like, oh, well, I have a friend that their kid went through this, so like you should be fine too,
Could be worse. Yeah.
okay,
Fuck, dude.
yeah, dude. And I almost snapped at one of my buddies from when I was stationed at Paris Island. Because I called him up because he was the first guy I met when I first got into Paris Island.
hmm
Um, when I was still in the Marines, like I called him up and he was like, he said that he's just like it could be worse. There's people out there that have it worse than you, man. Like, so just keep your head up about that, okay?
hmm
And I was like, dog, like what the fuck are you talking about right now?
Yeah, man.
But I was like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
That's great words of wisdom. That's exactly like I'm not looking for I wasn't looking for paper. I was just calling, people that
Yeah.
I thought were close was that was like, hey
Just
man,
something, man.
like
Yeah.
I didn't have no brothers or sisters, so like, these guys that I've known for the past 12 years, like, hey, just
That's
let
it.
you know, your niece that I told you is coming,
Yeah.
like this is what's going on with her. And,
Yep.
he's like, well, how you feeling? I was like, I'm just kind of rolling, just trying to make sure my wife's good.
Yeah.
And that's when he was like, all right, just, it could be worse. There's people out there that got it worse and they come out on top. You know what I mean? I was like,
Yeah,
you have
man.
no fucking idea what you're talking about right now, dude.
I know, dude. Yeah, like
But,
I mean, I haven't really talked too much about it, but we've had some issues with my family and stuff,
mm,
and I think part of it, like we went crazy, you know what I mean? Like, don't
yeah,
get me wrong, like we thought the world was out for us, you know what I mean?
mm,
Just like we were just guard up, fucking, hands up, ready to
yeah,
fight everybody and anybody, and then we had some friends, dude, that were just like, you know, you can call me at 2 o'clock in the morning and fucking scream at me. I don't
yeah,
know exactly what to say right now, but I'm here. Just like you were
mm,
saying, I'm here. If I'm just phone call away, if you need to talk, and you can call me at 2 o'clock in the morning and fucking yell at me and scream at me, and I'll be
yeah,
like, all right, sounds good. Anything else? I'll talk to you tomorrow.
yeah,
And like that's literally what we needed. We didn't
yeah,
need, advice from somebody that doesn't know anything about it
yeah,
or, hasn't been through anything like it. That was tough. And we still, we still have issues with people, today that might
yeah,
never get resolved just because we were fucking I said, in the trenches, man.
yeah,
We were struggling.
yeah.
And
I was
sometimes the people you thought that were going to be there that would just be like everything and anything, got defensive and shit. And it's just like, I don't fucking need that. I'm going through
like,
enough shit, you
yeah,
know?
man. I didn't call you to make it about yourself, and I called you to let you know what's going on, so you can keep in track. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I appreciate you inviting me on this. Like I said, I never talked about it with anybody to an extent. You know what I mean? It's just more of like, hey, how's your daughter doing? No, she's going good right now. You know what I mean? So I do appreciate this.
Nah, that's awesome,
Like,
dude. How do you feel?
I ain't gonna lie, I was a little nervous.
No
You know,
doubt.
I was sweating a little bit when we first picked up. I was like, feel like I'm mumbling right now. I feel like I'm going off because like never really get talked to about this. So
Nah, it's awesome,
it's
dude, and
different.
that's good. Well, hopefully you enjoy it. You didn't sweat too much
Yeah.
because you didn't take your fucking hoodie off, so we're in good shape.
Yeah. I wasn't trying to rip it off on camera though, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
no, I got you,
but
man. But it's cool. I appreciate you being here, man. It's cool.
absolutely.
I like talking about this shit,
Mm,
and I like talking to dudes. You seem really down to earth and stuff like that when we were messaging and everything.
mm,
Um, but yeah, man. I mean, keep it up. Fucking keep doing what you're doing, providing for your family and all that shit. And I'm not gonna say what everybody else says,
yeah.
fucking all the rambling bullshit, because I get it, man. I feel it. I
Yeah.
live it. So, everybody's
Yeah.
different. Your daughter's condition is different than mine.
Hmm.
But we're all out here just trying to fucking survive and, make the best of it, I guess.
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. Like I said, I appreciate it, man. It was different talking about it, I'll say that.
That's what I'm trying to do too, is put people, put dudes together that can kind of relate a little bit. You know
Mm,
what I mean? And
yeah.
like I said, the fucking stigma bullshit of being a whiny little bitch and talking about stuff like it,
No.
it ain't that. You know what I
No.
mean? It's just it's you seen what happened when you tried to talk to somebody that had no fucking clue about
Yeah.
what you were going through or anything. Like,
Mm,
we're people, man. I mean, we might be hard ass dudes. You're in the military and all that shit. I worked on diesel trucks. I've been a hard dude my whole life, but like,
mm,
if I can help somebody, man, and in the process of me helping myself, fuck it, why not?
yeah. It's a good thing you're doing, brother. I will say that. So
Appreciate it, man. I
absolutely.
just hopefully it just kind of keeps on going, and that's what I'm trying to do. Appreciate Beau coming on, man. It was a pleasure actually meeting you. I know we talked a little bit, texting back and forth, and it's awesome to have you on. So this is Dad's Little Warriors Dad Talk Season 3. Getting some dads on here, and we'll see you on the next one.